So I know Ty wants to get to
So this is the main story. This is the main one. And I've heard about this story from the guy that was with you. And he's told it to a bunch of people, but he didn't know all the details either. You just get little tidbits here and there, and you've been pretty embarrassed to tell the story.
Oh, yeah.
And somehow I've convinced you to do it today. And to keep in mind, everyone, this is coming from someone who came from city life, has never experienced hunting except for the couple years that he's been self-teaching himself on private property. And so there's going to be some people who are super judgmental about this. How could this ever happen? Yeah. But it's just a different world back then compared to what hunting is now. And so I'm excited to hear about the time that my dad shot a steer. The farmer's steer from next door.
Yeah.
So tell me, how is this possible?
Yeah. There's no easy way to defend myself. Oh my gosh.
So could you shoot deer or elk at that time?
Yeah. Yeah.
And either
in Montana,
sex?
you could.
Either sex?
No, you only could, the first 3 days you could shoot a doe for deer.
Was it at least the first 3 days?
No.
Okay. I'm ready for this story.
Where we were was really brushy, and we were on the 320. And I wish I had a picture of this property so I could describe the whole setting.
Right.
Because we were in the one swampy area that was right up from the 3 ponds. And that little stream ran down into these 3 ponds and then went off of the property to everybody else's. All the ranchers had water from this. So anyways, it was real swampy in there. And so literally you could go around any corner and see something on this property.
Right.
Deer, elk.
So you're always on edge thinking something's going to pop out at certain times.
I had missed some huge bucks just because I wasn't ready.
Right.
I was walking to my area where I thought I was going to hunt and I would see something beforehand, and
be
that
unprepared.
was just incredible. Yeah. And so I was used to just, trying to be prepared to get my rifle up, and get the scope on it and just shoot.
Right.
And so I wasn't even thinking at all when I crossed. There was this little bridge that went over the swamp, and it kind of crisscrossed over this swamp where you could get to the other side. And, I'm not even thinking at all, obviously.
Yeah.
I was an idiot. So I crossed this bridge and I'm over on the other side and I'm waiting for my buddy to come, which is the first time I went out hunting with this guy. And he was actually plinking off grouse on the other side of the bridge. And he shot one time and all of a sudden I see this movement and it was gray. And it was in front of a tree, but I couldn't see anything except for I knew that it was the chest of the biggest buck I had ever seen in my life. And it was
so you were going off of pure, like, the size of this thing, the mass of this thing. There's no way it could be a doe. It's got to be the biggest buck ever, and you're not going to let it escape.
Exactly. That's it. And so I put the crosshairs on the chest of this thing, and I'm thinking, I am not going to let this thing take off.
Right.
And because this guy was plinking off grouse over here, they lunged forward just a little bit, and it was not only one deer, it was several. But I'm thinking, I'm looking at the biggest deer body that I've ever come in contact with. So I put the crosshairs on it and I shoot my 30-06 and I'm going, this is a good shot. And then all of a sudden, when I shot, this thing lunges forward and goes, and it was a cow. And my heart dropped. And I went, oh my gosh. I wasn't even thinking of a cow being on the property.
There weren't supposed to be any on the property at the time.
Yeah, the guy was supposed to take them down to the butcher shop and get these, I think it was 4 steers.
Yep.
He was supposed to take them down.
He got
So I
3
wasn't
of them
even
out of there
thinking-
and missed one.
Yeah, so he took that one to the butcher shop that day.
Sure.
And I had to pay for the butchering.
Bet you did.
And it was a friend of mine, you know, and he was like, Mike, how in the world did you shoot my steer? And so as much as I tried to explain,
There's no explanation.
No explanation. It was so dumb. But again, you're looking at somebody who came from the city and just, when you start getting into the whole hunting thing and you start shooting game, it's like you realize the opportunities that are missed because you're not prepared
Right.
and all that stuff. But
Well, and there's a reason that every single state now requires hunter safety, and it's for these types of stories. And it's good learning lessons to tell other people about this is a possibility if you're not prepared. If someone hasn't trained you properly or you feel uncomfortable in the wilderness, something like this can happen.
absolutely.
So it's a good, I know it's embarrassing, but it's a good learning experience for a lot of people on the importance of hunter safety and having that mentor,
Right.
that mentor in the forest. Okay. So some detail questions that I have that people have asked me. How did you get this steer out?
We could drive right to it because there was a road, a
Gotcha.
gravel road that went all the way around this property. And
Did you load the thing up whole?
No, they had to cut it up a little bit before they put it on there. And that was the most humiliating thing. And we had
What did the guy with you say?
We had 8 guys.
No way.
We had 8 guys. There was only one that was hunting with me that day, but there were 8 guys that came out to get the steer in the back of the truck so we could take it to the butcher shop.
Was your head just down the entire time?
Oh, that was the most humiliating thing.
Yep.
But
Did he give you any meat?
he actually gave me a steak.
Wow.
Yeah, he gave me one of the back straps.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. Best tasting huge deer cow that I've ever had.